Yo guys, welcome to another video. Today we're going to make kicks inside Serum. It's going to be way easier than you think. It's going to be just one oscillator. We're going to just use oscillator A for everything, for the crunch and for the punch. So it's going to be pretty easy. So let's get started. So we have our LFO1 here. I'm going to draw the basic structure here. You've seen this multiple times. I'm assigning this to the level, oscillator A level. Then it's going to be this shape. I'm having my note on F, the piano roll. Then you can turn on your sub. Then you can have another structure that's playing the sub and make sure to randomize it to 0. And for LFO3, we're going to control our pitch. You can either control different oscillator pitch individually as you like. If you're making complete change for the whole synth, you can just use the main tuning. I think these are the basic steps you should learn to first defaultly set the preset to. So that's why we are making preset inside just a single oscillator and just a sawtooth. So we can add distortion here. So you can add filter to our oscillator A. Increase your drive fat knob. So this way you can learn how FX actually works. It's pretty easy to track how the sound shapes, So if I turn this off, nothing happens. So for the next step, we're going to add we're going to change our structure. This is allowing space for a chalk to cut through the mix so you can hear the transient. So we're going to make a 16 voice, then we're going to just detune out our oscillator A, and then we're going to create another LFO which is assigned to our detune itself. It does not detune the rest of our bass here, it only detunes our talk here. So as you can see, it's not affecting our crunch, so our crunch is unaffected here. Another thing you can play with is your master tune. So this is what I was talking about, going simple, right? So to control all this stuff, we can add a compressor to give it a bit more character and also compress the sound a bit. You can set this to 0, then somewhere like 1 here, and that takes it to the minimum level to have a sharp transient, and slightly increase near 1 to the below a compression level. And the final step I like to do is I'll just add a new utility here because we detuned our saw here. So I like to add a utility to mono bass, and everything below this hertz showing up here, it's going to be at mono. So of course you can go crazy with this structure and you can make different kicks here. And one step you can add here is you can add an equalizer before distortion. You can give more character to the kick itself. Just create a peak here somewhere to control your tonal peak here. So because it's going to cut through the sub itself, so it's going to reduce the sub signal. We need our sub information and also the tonal information. So what you can do is you can automate them individually so they don't clash with each other. If you add an equalizer before the distortion, it's going to shape the sound that enters before distortion, so it's going to create a new distortion. If you put an equalizer after here, what's going to happen is you just shaping the sound you actually made. So it's just serving a different purpose. So you can do it either way. So you can add an equalizer before distortion to give it more character, and then you can control the character if you want to get rid of some mids here, 200 something hertz here. So most of the kick require cutting here, so you can do a lot of stuff here. So it's just personal preference, but to keep it simple, I'm just going with this 3 stuff that is mandatory to use, right? So distortion is unskippable, you need that. And then the compressor is going to be always useful for every kick at this time. So every kick, it needs compression. Utility to control your whole kick. so the sub does not sound more wide and out of phase, so it's going to be in control most of the time. So your highs and mids also can be out of phase because we are using detune and we are using distortions. If you're going to export your kick, it definitely needs some post processing, but you can control most of the stuff here itself, so it is pretty easy to monitor stuff and control here. So that is for our basic style kick. So we are moving out to the next kick, which is going to have a bit of more character, and utilizing all the oscillators, we're going to use a lot of different tricks to make it sound even more advanced. We're going to basically replicate the first kick's structures that we made earlier on. So without changing the wavetable first, we're just going to add the level control here to the LFO1, and then we're going to control our LFO2 for the pitch here. And then for this one, we can again go with the global main tuning, that is fine. Then maybe increase the range a bit here. We can later tune it. Here we're going to adjust our LFO3 here for the sub levels. So we got our structures all in. Then we're going to add a filter here. Let's just add this filter first, and then we can see what we can do with the distortion after the character comes off. So this is what I usually do. I just add in distortion before adding any kind of filter here, because I don't know how the filter is going to impact our final result, right? So now we can change our wavetable here, then go to something like resumes. Okay, so our randomize set to 0, that's the important stuff. So our phase point is fixed to position where you can control here. It always starts from the parts where the line is indicating here. As you can see, the sound changes as I scroll through each phase points here. So you can have different phase points for the kicks, and then you can get different results. It's pretty easy to create whole kick inside a very single oscillator, but we can add more complexity by just using this oscillator for our punch. Then we can go to oscillator B, and then we can create a very different breeze pattern here. And then we can also use a different LFO to have our crunch here. So this is our bass, and this is going to play as our crunch. So we're going to assign this to our level here of oscillator B, and then randomize to 0, so you can play with different waveforms here, and you can play with the wavetable position to come up with different results. Then it drastically changes the whole waveform itself. So you can also change how the crunch bleeds into the kick. See, now our B is not being sent to our filter here, so it's going to react in a different way because it basically has the flat EQ. So if it's not sent to equalizer here, it's basically going to have the flat EQ. So another thing you can play with here is you can see, as soon as you change your structure here, sometimes we gain more transient, sometimes we gain more character in the talk part. So it is literally a lucky draw to get different results here. So you're going to have all these presets, you can play with everything. It has different genre presets like raw, and then sag, cyber, clap long kicks, and has everything. Make sure to check out. It's also complete kicks. It does not require any process. You can just directly put that into a track, or just bounce it from Serum to, then you can use it. Please make sure to check out the packs, link in description, and let's get into the process here. So what I like to do here is to cut space for the punch here, and then I'm going to use my LFO5 here to make a clean cut for our oscillator C here, and then I'm going to control the gain here, and then randomize to 0. And then on LFO6, I'm going to control the pitch here, something like this. So this is going to act like a house kick, you know. So it's going to play like our punch for the talk. So for this one, I like to set it to direct is pretty unique. You would have never seen this, but this one is going to help bypass all our effects here. Just control your pitch in LFO6. So you can add the pitch here, then you're going to control. So as you can see, we have clean kind of punch here. So I'm just controlling the gain here so it does not play the very high pitch part here. So okay, maybe not too high. So to make your crunch a bit wider, you can definitely add more voices here. Also, you can go full wide, like different with every voice, but I'm going to stay pretty. Okay, so other basic stuffs you can add here is you can go with the reverb. It's pretty basic and standard stuff. Okay, this is pretty simple. And then you can go with the compressor here, and then you can go on and dial in your basic changes to multiband, then increase below to something like 1. You can play with your reverb structure here too. See, it's very basic, and then we use different for a different oscillator for our punch, and then for our crunch here, and then we also use another oscillator to control our sub. So it is controlling every single gain knob here to get different parts of our kick to have different sounds. If we count from here, we gone to here, so it has much more body to the kick, and then it has more crunch and character. We're going to look at a very different kick one other time. So this time we are going from scratch, like the same way. So the first few steps never changed for most of the kicks. Gain controls here, and the randomize set to 0, so it's going to be the same for almost every kick. Okay, so we're going to have our level and structure setting here. So we're using oscillator A just for our punch. So we're going to create up for 2 a CRS control here. Then we're going to have, okay, so we're going to have our wavetable position set to sine, and then sounds like this. We need kind of house kick style thing here. So what we are going to make is we're going to make a Rebellion style attack, like the mid intro kicks from Rebellion. I'm going to go to flanges, then I'm going to use a CMB H6 plus here, so it's going to give me that. Then I'm going to add a distortion here, maybe somewhere around. Okay, this is just going to give us the saturation the kick needs, because we are taking away a lot of frequencies here, right? So we need back the signal that is being desaturated from the kick. So we're just adding a little bit of saturation to the punch. I like the saturation a bit more. Okay, so we almost have our kick here. So we need a LFO filter 2 to have oscillator B sent to filter 2. And we're going to change the EQ here to okay, so you can increase the detune here. Okay, something like this I'm going to go for. The next step you can do is, as I said, I'm going to create a character. So I'm going to put a equalizer before distortion so I can create character to the scape. Okay, so this one's fine. So for the next character I'm going to have this is after adding character. So you can keep on going with a different EQ, then you can have another band to control here. So what I'm going to do here is create somewhere a cut here. So a type of kicks like this, it has very minimal low mid. So what you can do is you can experiment with, you can control our low here. I need to add more character to this kick, so I need to increase the highs somewhere here. And to add a bit more character, you can add the noise here. So what I like to do is I use color and I try to use white here so I can control my stereo. I'll just put it like on 30, then I can also control my filter here. You already kind of have the kick. And now if we try to boost the highs, it's going to sound much cleaner. So to give more transient, you can also create a different iteration for the same oscillator A. And then you can go for the chorus pitch. You can just multiply different pitch modulation here. Okay, another step you can do is you can add a slight reverb just for the tail here, just to give that stereo touch. Then you can also go with for the final step, you can go with the compressor, then click the multiband, go for the basic setting that we already have, and you can also go with another equalizer before the compressor. Just keep adding more bands here, and then you can get more exact kind of a sound you like. Also play with the octaves here. I like to keep it here. You can go pretty crazy with all these stuffs. You can play with the any of the stuff and you can pretty much different results. You can add another filter before maybe distortion here, and then add flanges like before, like MB plus here, increase your resonance drive. Okay, for our next gig, we can try differently. So this is just the basic experimental thing that we done so far. So I think it's pretty much it. I showed you certain kicks which has different structures. So I hope you learned something to make different kicks inside Serum 2. So if you can, you try to tweak some of the presets here. Like I just showed you, it's going to create whole different kicks. So there are just so many varieties of kicks that you can make inside Serum 2. So if you're struggling to make kicks, leads, or want to learn more stuff about mixing in Hardstyle and how to get the perfect leads for your track, you can contact me personally for coaching on Discord. So I'm doing it for quite a while now. The people who had session with me, comment down your reviews on how it went. If you're interested, DM me through Discord or Instagram. I'll drop you down my ID to help you out. And make sure to check out the Serum 2 preset bundle down in the description. It has more than 20 different kicks. If you try to edit it, you're going to get at least like 10 different kicks from a single preset. So that's for this video, guys. So hope you learned something. Thank you. Bye.